So one of the questions, the first question I got this week was from Chris over on the website, and he said, "Hi Kevin, great podcast. What's your view on having a designated last drink? I've heard that some people make a point of making it memorable or even deliberately unpleasant. Do you remember your last one?" So, my last drink, yeah, I remember it very well. It was a glass of wine, and I had it around at my sister's house on New Year's Day. And I was intending to, have one last bang and go out on a bang, as they say, but I didn't, and I didn't even finish the glass of wine. It's funny because I sort of built myself up to it, and I had a hangover from the Christmas as well, so I had a cumulative hangover, as they say. So I didn't want it. I was done. I was completely done with it. I think if you try and make it an occasion, I'm not too sure about that, whether, it's the saying goodbye to an old friend, that kind of thing, I don't know. It is sort of, the whole process is like a grieving process. When you first start out, even though it's like somebody that you hated all along and that's been really bad to you, but they've all of a sudden dropped dead, and you feel sorry. You do miss them out of your life, and whatever things you miss, and that's what it feels like. So, should you go through sort of a wake, have that last and hold it up, and as far as disgusting, my last drink, it did taste disgusting. It wasn't anyway pleasant anyway. I think I'd filled my head with so much negativity about alcohol in general by that stage. And like I say, I'd just gone through the whole thing over Christmas, and I drank enough, and I was well on my way to drinking, or to quitting. Especially with my son, that whole thing just shook me up with the, I talk about this a lot, with the argument I had with him, and it wasn't a big argument, but it just really affected me, and it was just one of those things where I think a lot of different, what would you call them, catalyzing events, catalysms is one thing, catalyzing events, started coming together, really. A lot of stuff that had been happening over the years, and one event is all it takes to sort of push you towards the edge, and then you start thinking about everything else. It's weird. At the moment we're in a flat, we're in an apartment, and we're overlooking the Med. It's a great place. It really is. It's fantastic. I love it. But it's just, it's a holiday home. So we've been talking about trying to move inland a bit, and we can probably get a house for the same price, or roughly the same price, as we're paying now. And I can get a house with a granny flat, so a little apartment. My sister has one, and it's great because at the moment my office is in one of the bedrooms, one of the spare bedrooms, and it's just that my work is never done. It never feels like it's done. So all the time I'm sort of on, not on high alert, but when I want to relax, I can't relax, and when I want to work, it's sort of, I'm still in that environment where I'm trying to relax, But the point was that if we move inland, it's just going to be a lot better. But my point that I'm making is that now that we've decided to make the move, when we first moved in here, we were saying that we wouldn't, we'd stay here for 4 or 5 years. There would be no problem in that. But now we've decided to make the move. We're finding stuff that's wrong with this place, and we're sort of dumbing down what this place is like, and we're bigging up, so to speak, what it will be like to stay, to move into another house. So, and that's the type of process that you go through once you've really decided that enough is enough and that you're going to quit. You start to look for reasons, look for the reasons why you want to quit. And for me, just that one catalyzing moment, that argument, I'd been thinking about quitting for a long time, and I'd gone onto different websites, I'd gone onto forums, and I remember one of the posts that I put up, geez, I must try and find it if I can, where it said, I was talking about moderation, and yeah, there's no problem with me moderating that, surely I can moderate my alcohol consumption. And the people that had quit were saying exactly the same thing that I'm saying now, that it's almost impossible. Once you're in that frame of mind where you drink to get drunk, then you're always going to be wanting to moderate. But so the last drink again. Yeah, it's a good idea if you can try and make it as disgusting as possible, I think. In his book, How to Control Your Drinking, or Control Your Drinking, I think, Alan Carr, he said, throughout the book, he said, at the beginning of the book, he says, don't stop drinking until you've read this book. So wait until the end to take your final sip of alcohol. And I get where he was coming from that perspective, because he was saying carry on drinking while he's talking about the different aspects of drinking and breaking apart all the misconceptions that we have and our perceptions about alcohol, and he was just smashing them all down. All about that. I drink because it relaxes me. I drink because I like the taste. I drink, for whatever reason. And most of those reasons he broke apart in that book. So while you're reading it and you're drinking, you're thinking about this and it's going through your head. So once you get to the end and he says, right, take your final drink now, and he explains why he's left it till the end, I think that's a good idea. So I think making a final drink into a celebration, don't do that, So I think making a final drink into some sort of a celebration, then you're making it as disgusting as possible, then fair enough. If you're trying to make your final drink taste as good as it can and say au revoir to it, and you're just putting it up on that pedestal again. I hate that thing with the final drink, or the one drink where people say after 20 years, well, all it would take is one drink for me and I'd be back on the stuff. I can tell you now from my point of view, if I had a drink now, one drink, not that I want to have a drink or I will ever have a drink, I don't want to drink, but say if somebody forced me to have a drink and they held the gun up to my head and said, you have to have this drink now, then there'd be no way I'd be drinking the second one unless I was forced to do it, I wouldn't go back on it. I don't believe that. I think it's that all or nothing mentality. Well, I've had one now, so it just proves that I can't do it. It just proves that I'm an alcoholic. And all it proves is that your thinking is skewed. All it proves is that you really want to go back on the drink, because if you didn't, you wouldn't. Period. So until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for Alcohol Mastery. Onwards and upwards.